Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this interesting lesson. And today we're just going to continue from where we ended in my previous lesson. So today we are just going to discuss the theories of the properties of acids. In my recent video, I talked about the theories of acids, which was just an introduction. But today we're just going to look at the physical and the chemical properties of an acid. So whenever we talk about the property of a substance, we're just trying to look at certain attributes that we can use to describe a particular substance or matter. So there are two types of properties. There is what we call the physical properties and the chemical properties. The physical properties, these are the attributes that can be physically measured, or the properties that we can measure without changing the constituent of the matter within a substance. Then the chemical properties, these are the attributes that we can measure as a result of a chemical reaction, or the chemical properties can also be described as properties that can be measured, that involves the change in the constituents of a particular substance. So certain substances, they will undergo a chemical change. There will be changes, but in terms of a physical property, there is no change within a substance. It will just be the way it is. So those attributes that we can physically measure are the ones that we refer to as the physical properties. So let's get into the whole thing and see the physical properties of acids. So the number one attribute of an acid is that most acids, they have what we call a sour taste. So acids, they have got a sour taste. When you get an acid, you try to take just a glimpse of it. You test it using your mouth. You find that most acids, they will have a sour taste, of which I said if you must take caution. You should not go and start consuming acids. But if you were to test it, it will give you a sour taste. How do we know that? There are substances that cause a sour taste, like vinegar. Those, they contain acetic acid. Lemons, there is acids there. So you get a lot sour taste. So using that assumption, we can assume that most acids, they have got a sour taste. The second property is that acids, they turn a blue litmus paper red. So if you've got an acid, then you get a litmus paper, you dip it into it. That blue litmus paper will turn red. Then the other attribute is that acids, again, you can also use another indicator which we call methyl orange. So when you get methyl orange, which is a solution, you add acid to it, it will change its color from orange, it will turn now into red. So using that, you can know that this substance is an acid. The other physical property of an acid is that most acids, they conduct electricity. They are electrolytes. So meaning an electrolyte is a substance that is capable of conducting electricity either in molten state or in a solution form. So most acids, when they are able to conduct electricity. So that's one of the physical properties. Then the other thing is that when you're dealing with acids, most acids, when you get a pH meter, you try to measure the pH of most acids. You find that they will give you a value of below 7. So most acids have got a pH range below of 0 up to less than 7. Those are the values that we'll get for most acids. 7 and above. 7 is the neutral compound. 7 going up there, those you're talking of bases. But acids, they have a pH range of below 7. So those are some of the few physical properties of acids. Of course, another physical property of acids is that acids are capable of dissolving in water to produce hydronium ions. That's a physical property, solubility. So most acids are soluble in water. Okay, so having discussed the physical properties of acids, let's look at some of the chemical properties of acids. Yeah, so one of the chemical properties of acids is that most acids are capable of reacting with bases. So when an acid reacts with a base, they will produce a salt and water in a neutralization reaction. For instance, we have hydrochloric acid, HCl, reacting with sodium hydroxide. Then they will produce a salt which we call sodium chloride, which is a neutral compound, then plus water. Water is being produced. So water has been given off. So this kind of a reaction is involving an acid and a base, and water is being produced. So that's one way in which you can prepare a salt, is by neutralization reaction, getting a base and also an acid, a strong acid and a strong base, or a weak base and a weak acid. You still get a neutral salt. Then the other property is that most acids, they react with metals to produce salt. So still, you can get an acid, you react it with a metal, then it will also produce salt. But in this case, you are going to have a salt, then hydrogen will be given off in this regard instead of you getting water, but hydrogen will be given off. Then the other property is that most acids react with carbonates to produce salt, water, and carbon dioxide. So acids can also react with bicarbonates, e.g. sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. When you react with hydrochloric acid, it will still produce sodium chloride, then it will produce carbon dioxide plus water. So most acids are capable of reacting with carbonates, substances containing carbonates or metal carbonates. Acids will be able to react with those. Then the other attribute is that most acids, they also react with water. Like I said, acids will dissolve in water. They will react with the water to produce the hydronium ion as the only positive charged ion. So most acids, they also react with water. So those are just some of the few properties of acids that I've discussed, the physical and the chemical properties. So if you find this video interesting and you find this lesson helpful, please share it to somebody else so that they can also get a glimpse of what we've just discussed today.